who you truly are without that. Yes, maybe poorer. Yes, maybe not as pretty. Yes, maybe not with your marriage. Yes, but all the extraneous things go in a crisis. And if they went, they were going to go at some point anyway. Right? The tourism industry was the first thing that went after 9/11, at least in America. Right? Flights got hit, tourism got hit, the economy tanked. All the big transient architects of our society, the architectural structures of our society crumbled with the Empire State, with the Twin Towers. Right? The empire crumbled with the Twin Towers because it was meant to crumble. It was transient. Economy, tourism, always the first things to go. Right? So as long as we understand that we cannot base a life on the transient things. Yes, we need food to live. We need money to buy the food to live. But if our identity is tied into that, then when that goes, what's left is depression. So for women especially, if our identity is tied into our beauty, and you know, all women know, our identity is tied into our hair color and our youth and our beauty. When that goes, we're not prepared for it. Instead of preparing for it, being ready for the wrinkles, and no one likes wrinkles, yes? I don't like them either. But wrinkles are a metaphor. When we are ready for the wrinkles, the job loss, the hair loss, the youth loss, the beauty loss, the marriage loss, when we're already entering life, ready to lose, because we know these are transient things. They're going to go, they're going to go, they're going to go. Then when it does go, we are slightly more healthy about it. So this is my house, right? So when I bought this house and past houses, my practice to not get so attached to this house is to keep reminding myself, it's not my house. It's not my house. It's not my house. Because I see how attached I am to it, I do the antidote to go, it's not my house. It's not my house. Now, I'm not saying I'm not attached. I'm saying I have the wisdom to see I'm deeply attached. And this is a transient thing. And there could be Hurricane Irene, Sandy ×2 next time, and it could go. So how do I prepare for it? Not through paranoia and phobia or living in the future, but understanding the transients in the moment. It's not my house. It's my house. It's not my house, right? It's my child. It's not my child. It's right now. It's only right now, right? Understanding the non-duality of ownership, loss. Permanence, impermanence, right? There's only permanence in the now. Only right now, right? My marriage, not my marriage. I own my partner. I don't own my partner. I am young. I'm not going to be young forever. I have success. Oh, it could go away. I have money. Oh, money can go through my fingers. All of our external attachments are intransient and are transient, are not intransient. So as long as we are aware of that, I have it, I don't have it. Whatever you're holding, understand you are as much dropping. As you hold, you drop, right? I say the more you outstretch your fingers, the more there are holes in it. The more you want to grab, the more there's holes in it, which is speaking to the detachment from transient structures in our lives. Detachment from the form, detachment from the external. Understanding that the more you attach, the more will be your loss, right? So can we have the wisdom to know that, yeah, I like that ladder. I want to climb that ladder, but that ladder could be taken in 1 second. And in a crisis, it gets taken away. Everybody's ladder in some way is being taken away. So instead of tantruming, instead of fighting, instead of thinking the world is unfair and unlucky and not so loving toward you, unloving, we can have the wisdom to go, this is what crisis does. It would have come with my cancer diagnosis. It may have come with the breakdown of my marriage. It may have come with the accident. It may have come when I broke my leg. At some point, every life is a crusade of one accident after another, one malfunction after another, one death after another. So our ideas of beauty, success, youth, but especially success, because all of us count on success to be identified with. We count on it. We want that linear, organized way of climbing up a ladder so that we feel we are. When that is taken away, there is complete dissolution. Instead, what we can do is recognize that that ladder of success was going to go in the first place. It was about to go. So like I said with my house, it's my house, but I'm aware it could go like this. So I'm training myself, it's my house, not my house. It's my child, not my child. It's my face, not my face. It's my body, not my body. Right? It's my phone, not my phone. Right? Everything we cling, as much as we're taking, we have to drop it. And unless we learn to live life in that dance, we will suffer. So now, when we surrender that we don't have that ladder of success, yes, you don't have it, I don't have it. And millions of us don't have the traditional ladder of success. So now, what do we do, right? What do we do with the now? What do we do with this full wisdom that we need to surrender that ladder of success? Well, now we need to come into the awareness that there is a new ladder or a new moment, right? It's another moment. It'll go away too. But we can completely reinvent ourselves in the present. It'll take time, but we can do it. We can adapt to the present moment. Holding on to that ladder may not be the best thing. Similarly, holding on to that relationship may not be the best thing. We can adapt, but we can only adapt when we're willing to see the illusion of holding on. We can adapt only when we're willing to let go, right? Most of our suffering in life is because we're not willing to let go. So only you know how much you need to let go. Some of you may go back into tourism, may become pilots again, may become cruise ship workers again. Maybe it'll reinvent. You have to decide how much do you want to hold on and when do you completely cut. Same with relationships, right? You have to make that gauge, but the only way to start making a gauge is by releasing, by asking, do I need this in my life? Do I really need that ladder or that relationship in my life? Or can I begin to pivot somewhere else? Where do I pivot? I know for sure that most of us watching and being together in this moment are right now in a place in their life that they, not because of the pandemic, pre-pandemic, just before the pandemic, are in a place in their life that they could never have fathomed. Say yes or no if that's true. If you feel that you're right now, before the pandemic, in a place you could have never imagined, say yes or no. Because I want to show you that even before the pandemic, you were living an unexpected life. I know my life completely different. Completely different. Even pre-pandemic. So now I look at it, oh, one more complete difference. Type yes if it is. They're writing yes, 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 yes. You never imagined this life. Did you imagine the children you would have? How could you imagine, right? Just the children are not who you imagined. And the child at 8 is not the child at 17. My child is 17. She's not the same. Could not have expected this. Complete unexpectation. We are always living an unexpected life. This is the truth of it. So yes, there's loss. Yes, you like that ladder of success. But it may be time to release it. It may be time to let it go. And this is the time. This virus is showing us, what do I need to let go of in my life that is not working anymore? It may have worked 3 months ago. It's not working right now. What do I need to shed? What do I need to let go of, release? With bravery. It takes bravery. It takes courage. In order to invite. Maybe you change your whole idea of who you are. Maybe now you're a chef. Maybe now you're a gardener. Maybe now you're a teacher. Maybe now you go back to school. Who knows? But there is more there besides that ladder. That's what I wanted to pivot you toward. You are more than your ladders of success, then your children, then your beauty, then your marriage, then your relationship. You are more. There is more there. So the lid is being taken off, but don't be afraid to peek inside. I know you're thinking it's emptiness there. No, I promise you there's more there. Just allow it. I had a session yesterday with somebody who was trying to reinvent. And the only question I told her, and I'm going to give it to you for free, it's a question you've heard before, it's not fancy, is what lights you up? What lights me up? Now is the time, blame the pandemic, to go for what lights you up. That means you have to let go of all the things that weigh you down. What weighs you down? What ways of eating have weighed you down? What ways of thinking have weighed you down? All those things that are bogging you down, take a shear, like big shears, and just untether yourself. Blame the pandemic, right? One of my girlfriends from India has been in a rotted marriage forever. I'm like, this is your time. This is your time. Walk out. Blame the pandemic. You know, say you had a trauma and it shook up your brain. You have a dysfunction. You have a complete collapse of your brain, and walk out. This is the window, guys. I know it's painful. People have lost their jobs. I don't need to make excuses if I'm sounding insensitive. You know I'm not insensitive. I know people who've died. I know people who don't have a paycheck. I'm not making this all rosy. I know it's scary as heck. Scary. We are in the birth canal. We are in the dark tunnel. But what I'm also asking you to see is that this is a brief window. It may last for another year, but this shock of the window is now. So when you can claim insanity is now. You can't claim insanity after a year. Then you can't blame the pandemic. But now you can blame the pandemic. You know, your mother's like, what are you doing? And you're like, I don't know, I'm becoming an artist, I'm becoming a ballet dancer, I'm becoming a sculptor, I'm becoming a gardener, mom. And she's like, you have a corporate job, you should wait for your job. You're like, no, I never liked it. But you're a lawyer. Never liked it. This is your moment to claim insanity. It's a small window. Take it, claim it. But jokes aside, this is a window. It comes once in a lifetime. You know, I tell all my clients, when they've hit rock bottom, they are so miserable, but I, as the therapist, am so gleeful. I don't show them. I'm so happy because I know that they're breaking. What that means is their ego is breaking. What that means is that their attachments to the old, that wasn't making them happy anyway, is breaking. They're crying, but they don't realize how good it is that it's breaking because they get to release it. They get to say goodbye. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me, right? And just be audacious. And maybe start paving the path to a new tomorrow. It is right here for you. It's no such thing as there's not enough jobs. Now, for some things there may not be, but then you find another job. There's no such thing as you can't find abundance. You may not find the same abundance. You may not find the exact thing, but I have less income, right? I have so much less income from pre-pandemic to now, right? I'm saying it. But I found abundance through this. I found abundance through creating a new Facebook group, which you can join. It's facebook.com/groups/superpowered/. So facebook.com/groups/get superpowered/. Come there. In 7 minutes, I'm going to teach meditation there. And we've created a whole community of over 20,000 people. So I created abundance in other ways. I turned the steering wheel. I said, I can't go down that path. Can't make the money in the same way, but I can make money in other ways. As in, I can create credit through human connection, right? Money is not just that. Money is a currency of abundance, yes? So sometimes the currency is physical notes. Sometimes the currency is interconnection. I'll talk about that more tomorrow, about how to create different currencies of wealth. Yes? But my main point today is that ladder of success, if it crumbled, it was going to crumble one day anyway. So good it crumbled now, because you're still young, you're still alive, you're still healthy right now. If you're on this feed, you are. Now you can reinvent. Now you can move. Now you can change because you've been given a reset button. You've been given a pause button. You've been forced to go within. So use this time to go and ask the tough question. What lights me up and what has held me down? So I am choosing this verse from the Tao because it does talk about success. So I did cheat today. Verse number 13 says, success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. So many people say, well, I hope I get the job. I hope I get the promotion. I hope the virus goes away. So this people don't like when I say this, so I'm just going to say it really fast so you don't attack me too much. Hope, but the Tao says, hope is as far hollow as fear. So the word hope to me is hollow, because it speaks of the future, and you can hope as much as you want. But if you don't take action in the present, and if it's not in the present, you can keep hoping. So that's what people get pissed off with me about. I've said it, now moving along. So the Tao says hope is as hollow as fear, because it's just a feeling. It's in the future. It's not in the now. So the Tao asks, what does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? It says, well, whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is always shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, away from the ladder, you will find your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Well, it says, hope and fear are both phantoms, phantasms, chimerical mirages, bubbles that arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as the self, what do we have to fear? So this line, when we don't see the self as self, this line, when we don't see the self as self, I'm repeating myself. This line is the pivot of all wisdom teachings. I have talked about this one line for 52 hours in my Awakened Heart course. It's 50% off. If you want to know more about that line, the self that's not the self, the self that is a no self, that one line is the basis of all wisdom. You can take my course. It's called The Awakened Heart. Take it for 50% off with the coupon code half off. Okay, because it's so profound, it needed 52 hours. So it says, when we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. So the word faith, I look at it like the word hope, but the Tao has used the word faith. So it's saying, have trust in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you care for all things. So what this paragraph says is, there is no success, there's no failure. There's no up, there's no down. There's no hot, there's no cold. There's no rich, there's no poor. Everything is interconnected. Everything is interrelated. Everything is relative. So when you see yourself as a continuum of everyone else, we have no separation. What I have is yours, what you have is mine. And we're seeing through the virus that our breath is one. So when you realize that everything is the same, then you stop believing in success. Because what is success to one person could be failure to another. Yes, you get to the top of one ladder, but for another person, it's the bottom of their ladder. So everything is relative. There is no absolute success. Therefore, you can let it go. You can release it. And you can reinvent and readapt in the present moment. So what turns you on? What lights you up? What weighs you down? Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You can adapt. You can turn this moment into any moment you want while you're living. If you're ill and if you're dead, you can't. But while you're living, ask yourself, how am I turning this moment around to something that lights me up? If you want to join me for meditation, I'm now going to get off this and go to my meditation group. It's facebook.com/groups/get super powered. It's a group created for the teachings of this, but I teach meditation there on a daily basis. So join me there right now. Come there right now. Come.